The Steelpoortdrift project, owned by ASX-listed Vanadium Resources, holds one of the world's largest undeveloped vanadium deposits in the world, with a mineral resource of some 4.7 million tonnes of vanadium pentoxide. With many investors watching VR8's progress, the company's managing director, John Ciganek, joins me now to provide an update. Welcome, John.
Thanks for having me.
So where are you at now with Steelpoortdrift?
Yeah, our Steelpoortdrift project's in the northern part of South Africa in the Limpopo area in the renowned Bushveld region. We're focused on progressing the development of the project and getting it construction ready. We're building together our front-end engineering design packages for all the packages across the project. That basically means detailed engineering, detailed designs, and project execution plans. Once that work's done, then we'll be rolling that out into a series of tender packages, and we'll be looking for proposals from various engineering firms around enter into a series of EPC contracts across the project. As part of that, we're also in recruitment mode. Internally, we're appointing a few key hires, key project engineers and support staff, but also external project management engineering firms that have expertise in delivering massive projects like this. The other area is the continuing our processes with respect to water use licenses, environment authorizations, and rezoning applications. And the last area with the community, and it's a very important area, and we've been having some very good dialogue with them. We need their support. They'll be doing some work for us between now and the start of construction. And we've also recently submitted a social and labour plan to the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy. So we're well underway on most of the key engineering fronts.
Now, in terms of demand for the end product, vanadium, you mentioned the company's working on securing offtake. Can you give us an update on this?
Yes, we've been getting some good interest from a range of parties, and we're in discussions and negotiations and well advanced on a couple of fronts. The first one in particular was one that was announced earlier this year with Matrix Resources. In summary, that was a $6 million investment at a 40% premium to the equity price, together with an MOU for offtake and or marketing arrangement for 40% of our production for our stage one. At the moment, we've been continuing negotiations on the offtake and or marketing arrangements with them. We're in China last month and having some good discussions with them in their head office in Shanghai. And they've reaffirmed their interest in Vanadium Resources, our project, and also offtake. So that's well underway. And in parallel, separately, we've been talking to other offtake partners out of North America, Europe, and also in Asia as well, with respect to the remaining production that's coming out of the operation. And one of our key focus with this process is trying to do a similar deal to what we did with Matrix, where each of these counterparties would be injecting equity into VR8 at a premium, preferably, and making sure that the terms are bankable. So we're just taking the time to get it right.
Now, I understand that the timeline for the Steelpoortdrift project has changed somewhat. Can you explain that?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time with our engineers on site. We've updated the project timeline, and that has our final investment decision coming in at the second half of 2024. We've been very keen to make sure that we build a project that's reliable and it can achieve nameplate production rate and specification for vanadium pentoxide. And that's been a key focus for us, especially we've done an internal review of the entire project, no stone unturned sort of thing, where we've looked at the flow sheets, equipment selection, detailed design, as I mentioned earlier. And that's been a key part of de-risking the project. And from our perspective, it's given us a lot more comfort in the project and as we move into construction and then ultimately into production. And the last bit, and as we were mentioning earlier on the offtake, we need to make sure that the terms in the offtake agreements are bankable. And if they're not bankable, there's no point doing it. So we've been taking measures to make sure that the terms are bankable. I keep using those words, but also equity investment into the company at a significant premium, as we did with Matrix. So we would rather do that than rush into a highly diluted equity raising in the current market. So that's our preference at the moment.
John, you mentioned the funding of the project there. Have you had much interest from financiers?
Yeah, strong interest. We've been in discussions with banks since I took on the role earlier this year, but it's been ramping up during this period. So we've got a range of term sheets from a range of banks, and they're indicative term sheets. And we're now at the stage where we'll be moving into due diligence and all the banking due diligence stream, and there are lots of them. And then once we're into that process, we'll be mandating a bank group or a bank to coordinate that process for us. So that's going very well. Headline number, we've increased our ownership from 74% to 82%. And background for that is it's a company called OBEC, and they're a Black Economic Empowerment company. So it's a BE, one of our BE partners. We have 3 of them. So we've basically acquired their interest in the project, cash and shares. They've been one of the they've been there since the beginning, with our chairman Yuri Vessels, and so we've acquired that, and that's what's brought that transaction that was approved by the South African Reserve Bank last month. In parallel, we also have a second transaction that is still in progress with Mathpin, our second BE partner, and once we get that approval, next couple of months, we expect to get it before the end of the year, hopefully, and that'll take us from 82% to 86.5%. So we're hopeful that that comes through, but from an overall, for both transactions, that'll take us from 74% to 86.5%. It is material, especially if we're using an NPV for the project of about $1 billion. It is material. And we're quite excited that we've been able to get to this point already.
Well, thank you so much, John. There's obviously plenty to get done before the end of 2023. John Ciganek, the Managing Director of Vanadium Resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sonia.